week I got the ZHIYUN Crane Plus. Ooh. It's not on, don't worry. And the reason that I went for this particular gimbal as opposed to all the other ones that are on the market is it has a new feature which enables you to do moving night lapses or moving long exposure time lapses. But that sounds less cool. So I've used the feature, I've checked it out, and I thought I'd do a quick tutorial for you as well as some quick tips. So to set everything up, you put your gimbal on a tripod and you choose the waypoints of your time lapse. I tend to keep it simple and just keep it A to B, but you could theoretically do A, B, C, D, have it moving all over the place. What you need to do is make sure that you set the app up correctly and have the interval time on the app to be slightly longer than what the camera's recording. So the gimbal will stay still when the shot is exposed and then move in the interval in between. And then you go. Set your time and it's all completely automated. You can go and get a brew because it's usually at night and quite cold. Currently as it stands, in January 2018, this feature for Panasonic cameras, which is all I'm concerned with because it's the only camera I have, doesn't currently work on Android, on the app on Android, which is why I've resurrected this old cracked thing. I've contacted ZHIYUN about this and they've said that it will be coming out on Android imminently, it's just that it's a very new update, so crossing fingers for that. These were all taken with 10 minutes of recording time from A to B. Now if this was a daylight time lapse where you were taking an exposure every 2 seconds or every 5 seconds, it would give you a lot of footage and the movement would be smooth, which is what I'm used to. Unfortunately, I didn't take into consideration that with the time in between each exposure, I was only getting one shot every 5 seconds, so less is more when it comes to movement. If you wanted to do a full 180 degrees during the night lapse, do it for at least a 30-minute exposure rather than the 10-minute setting. To my knowledge, there's nothing in between, which is quite annoying. Number 2, diagonal movement looks brilliant, but again, you need to make the exposure period quite long. It gets to be a little bit jittery if you're only doing this at say 10 minutes from start to finish. Number 3, and I'm hoping this will get fixed with an app update, but if at any time you let the screen of your phone go off during this could be 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour operation, the whole thing just stops, which is slightly annoying. So don't let the screen go off on your phone when you're doing these. Next, this is a bit of a strange one and it may only be applicable to Panasonic cameras, but you've got to trust that this is working correctly because the intervals are usually quite short in between. So you won't see an image of the previous shot that's being taken before the next one starts. So on the back of your screen, because in between the exposures the gimbal's moving, it gives the appearance that the photograph that's being taken is blurring, but it isn't. It's just moving in between the exposures and the live view's taking a little bit of time to catch up. So you just gotta trust that it's working, trust that it's all synced, and then after it's done, you can see for yourself with the previews. So there we have it. I'm sorry I wasn't in a more exotic location, but I really just wanted to get out and test that this feature worked because it's something that I've wanted to try for a long time, but it's only very recently became accessible to the average consumer, you know, to get all of these features inside one product that isn't terribly expensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not like thousands upon thousands, which you can spend for these sorts of rigs. I think it's great. And it's icing on the cake, given that the gimbal is a gimbal as well as a time-lapse, night-lapse piece of equipment. I shall be doing more night lapses, which I'll put on Instagram and things, and I'll be doing more reviews on the Crane Plus as I learn more. I don't want to rush it out. I want to learn each step as thoroughly as I can so I'm actually providing value. Anyway, if you do try this, do let me know. I'd love it if you could tag me on Instagram and I could see, because I'm apparently like the only person who I know yet who has a Crane Plus. So I'm feeling quite lonely. See you next time.